The Bear and the Two Travellers. Two friends were travelling together through a jungle while coming back from a fair after selling their crops. They suddenly heard the growl of a bear, which met them on their way. This made them furious. One of them knew how to climb a tree. He quickly climbed up a tree and hid himself in its branches. His friend was left alone under the tree. Fearing that he would be attacked, he fell flat on the ground. When the bear came up and felt him with its snout and smelt him all over, he held his breath and acted as if he was dead. He knew that the bear would not touch a dead body. The bear soon left him, as it was convinced that the person lying on the ground was dead. When it was gone, the other traveller descended from the tree and anxiously inquired of his friend what it was the bear had whispered in his ear. "He gave me this advice," his friend replied. "Never travel with a friend who deserts you at the approach of danger." The moral of the story is, misfortune tests the sincerity of friends.
The Cat and Venus. Once there lived a cat who used to hunt for mice in a village. The cat used to play from door to door for searching its prey. One day, the cat saw a handsome young man in a house. The cat fell in love with the handsome young man. The cat wanted to marry the handsome young man and entreated Venus to change her into a form of a woman. Venus consented to her request. And transformed her into a beautiful girl. So that the youth saw her and loved her, and took her home as his bride. The cat was very happy and thanked Venus for helping her. While the couple were living happily, a few days later, the Venus wished to know if the cat in her change of shape had also altered her habits of life. The Venus let down a mouse in her home. The cat saw the mouse and, forgetting her present condition, started up from the couch and pursued the mouse, wishing to eat it. The young man was surprised of such an act of his wife, while Venus was much disappointed and again caused her to return to her former shape. The moral of the story is, nature exceeds nurture.
The Crow and the Pitcher. A crow, who was very thirsty, found a pitcher with a little water in it. But the water lay so low that she could not reach it. She first tried to break the pitcher. Then she tried to overturn it, but it was too strong and heavy for her. At last, she thought of a way. She dropped many little pebbles into the pitcher until she had raised the water level so that she could reach it. If there is a will, there is a way.
The dog and his image. A dog with a bit of meat in his mouth was crossing a river. Looking down, he saw his image in the water. And thought it was another dog with a bigger piece. So he dropped what he had and jumped into the water after the other piece. Thus, he lost both pieces, the one he really had, which he dropped, and the other one he wanted, which was no piece at all. This is a good fable for greedy people.
The Fox and the Stork. The fox invited the stork to sup with him. And placed a shallow dish on the table. The stork with her long bill could get nothing out of the dish, while the fox lapped up the food with his tongue. And so the fox laughed at the stork. The stork, in turn, asked the fox to dine with her. She placed the food in a long-necked jar. From which she could easily feed with her bill, while the fox could get nothing. That was tit for tat.
The goose that laid golden eggs. There once was a man who had a goose that always laid golden eggs. one for every day in the year. Now, he thought there must be gold inside of her. So he wrung her neck and laid her open. He found that she was exactly like all other geese. He thought to find riches, and lost the little that he had. This fable teaches that one should be content with what one has and not be greedy.
The Hare and the Tortoise. At an animal get-together, the proud hare was boasting of his speed before the other animals. "I can beat anyone in a race," said he. "I have beaten several animals in a race." Then he said, "I challenge anyone here to race against me." All the animals were quiet, and some were convinced by the words of the hare. The crow said, "He is right. I have witnessed his victory many times." No one had the courage to accept his challenge. The hare was very happy and filled with pride. The tortoise was sitting in a corner and watching the proud hare challenging the whole jungle. Everyone was feeling insulted. The tortoise said quietly, "I accept your challenge." All the animals looked at the corner where the tortoise was sitting. Everyone was surprised and some animals laughed as if a joke had been cracked among them. "That is a good joke," said the hare. "I could dance around you all the way." "Keep your boasting till you've been beaten," answered the tortoise. "Shall we race?" The fox was chosen as the judge for the race by the animals sitting in the meeting. The fox fixed a date and time for the race, and all the animals were invited to attend the historic race, which seemed one-sided. Everyone was sure of the hare's victory, but were praying for tortoise's success. On the night previous to the day of the race, the hare was seen inviting several animals to watch the historic race. He was so busy boasting that he could not even sleep. On the day of the race, every animal reached the spot well in time. So a course was fixed and a start was made. The hare started dancing around the tortoise. He insulted the tortoise a lot. He ran a little, and then, when the tortoise reached near him, he ran a little more. After making a lot of fun of the tortoise, he ran almost out of sight. All the animals thought, why has the tortoise chosen to make himself a laughing matter? They saw the hare stop running, and to show his contempt for the tortoise, they saw him lay down to have a nap. The tortoise plodded on, and when the hare awoke from his nap, he saw the tortoise just near the winning post. The hare was shocked. He tried to run, but could not run fast enough to save the race. There was a lot of cheering. All the animals were happy, for the proud hare lost the historic race. The moral of the story is, slow and steady wins the race.
The Lion and the Mouse. Once there was a lion sleeping. A little mouse began crawling up and down upon him. This awakened the lion. Who caught the mouse in his huge paw. And opened his big jaws to swallow him. "Pardon, O King," cried the little mouse. "Please don't eat me. Forgive me this time. I shall never forget it. Who knows but what I may be able to do to you in return some day?" The lion laughed. "How can you help me?" The lion was so tickled at the idea of the mouse being able to help him that he lifted up his paw and let him go. Some time after, the lion was caught in a trap laid by hunters. He roared. Just then the little mouse happened to pass by. And seeing the sad plight in which the lion was in, went up to him and soon cut away the ropes that bound the king. "Was I not right?" said the little mouse. The lion thanked the mouse, and they soon became good friends. The moral of the story is, little friends may prove to be great friends.
The Shepherd Boy and the Wolf. A shepherd boy used to look after a flock of sheep near a village. He used to take his sheep to graze daily in the morning and come back to the village in the evening. He was bored of his daily life. he thought of an idea to amuse himself a little. He disturbed the villagers 3 or 4 times by crying out, "Wolf! Wolf!" The villagers heard his voice and ran to the green pastures where the shepherd boy was grazing the sheep. They found the boy sitting near the sheep and playing with his pipe.
Hey!
He laughed at them each time they ran to him. One evening, as the sun was setting, a wolf really came to the pasture and jumped upon the sheep. The shepherd boy shouted in terror, "Oh, pray, do come and help me! The wolf is killing the sheep!"
But no one paid any heed to his cries, nor provided any assistance. The wolf, at his leisure, destroyed the whole flock. The moral of the story is, there is no believing a liar, even when he speaks the truth.